All right, gonna do the back grill, and I usually use, you know, a harsh chemical spray of some kind. But I'm gonna try a little soap and water here on this, and see if it comes out all right. And then wipe it down with a cloth. I'm spilling this all over the place. This table isn't exactly, I'm getting a little something off of there. So I'm just going to continue to wet this down with the soap and water, and I think it'll do less for the rust. But you can always go over rust with a little WD-40, and that'll take surface rust off. And we'll flip it over and do the same thing on the other side. And then just make sure it dries fully, right? I mean, I don't think, it isn't going to rust out in a summer because I wash it with soap and water. I would hit it in the driveway, with the hose and whatnot. I don't own the place, so I try not to utilize the outside facilities too often, just out of respect for the situation. Okay, we'll flip him over. I just don't want to get it all over those little fans there. So I guess I'm going to be a little more careful. Now I'll hit it with a towel. Start drying it down. What's coming off of there? Is there something on here? I don't know what that is. That's weird. Maybe that's this is from the sponge. Alright, we got sponge materials on here. The sponge didn't like the grill, but the grill liked the sponge. Came out pretty nice considering. We eviscerated that, what do you call it? On the inside it looks pretty nice. Outside you could see the rust. Cleaned up pretty good though, so not bad really. Rear grill isn't terrible. So there you go. Alright, how to clean the blades without making them worse? That's the question. Yeah. I'm not using soap and water, I'm using the wet sponge with some of the 409 here. And I just did one. That one. So now I'm going to go ahead and very gently, the hard part is equal pressure. Very careful not to put any real pressure at all. And just try and wipe them down a little bit. And then dry it off. This fan is going to need some real work. I'll give a chance to get to it because this is the one I already did, and I did this one. That one came out pretty okay. And here's the third one. What I don't want to do is I don't want to bend the blades. I'm really bad with the blades, and I'm not. Some people are really good at getting them right. Getting them rebalanced. But this fan was so nice as it was. I'm really hoping to not disturb it so that you guys can see how nice it ran. But what it needs is it really needs it needs all the wiring done. The wiring is very crispy, so it really needs to be taken apart and done the full thing, which I think we'll do. We'll try to. I'm not great at wiring to the head wire. Always worried about my soldering skills, and as you'd imagine. Knowledge of these things, So that's a little bit of a clean on the fronts of the blades. And this one was the worst of it. This one here. And there's some Schwitz on the front of the motor, you know, like you could all use it. Shouldn't really run it on the old oil. You know, all that kind of stuff. These RMRs are notoriously rough to where I don't think they don't like being worked on as much, the RMR motors, because it's what you call it, it's not made to be oiled, and there's like this weird felt foam they sprayed in there, so you'd have to take the whole, there's one guy years ago, there used to be a YouTube video of a non-fan collector that rebuilt one of these, and he pulled the rivets on the front of the motor and then nut and bolted it all back together with a spring and a sponge. Apparently there's a spring in there and that sponge thing. Anyway, we're not going to do all that, but at least the front of these blades is a little better. We turn it around. The backs of the blades were good, but let's just get the dust off them so that it looks pretty. Turn it around. Back of that blade is pretty clean. The back of the blades are nice on this. Okay, we're going to leave that. That means we're actually about ready to run this thing. Okay, one thing that's a bit of a bummer, I think I lost one of the little metal sleeves. There's a little tiny steel sleeve that goes into the box fan to hold the grill. Hard to see. You can see it on the inside there. Yeah, see that? Black metal there. So I lost it on this side. I don't know where it went, if there was one, and there probably was. Let's give it a run. All right, we're here with the 2-speed Lasko. She's cleaned up. We got some rust in the cage, but we got her pretty darn well cleaned up. Paint inside and outside is pretty nice. The sticker survived. It's got that mark in the back, tells us what model and everything was. The only thing, what's funny about it right now is to go and run it for you. It barely, the cord is so short, it barely reaches the power strip over here, which is funny. I'm actually not still going to have to adjust that. Let's go ahead and run it. All right, so here's the 2-speed. When I tried it at this house where I bought it at the estate sale, I had a little trouble with the switch working properly. We're going to see how many clicks it takes to start, and then it should go high, low, off. That's what I think it does. So there's that, and then what's the other thing? Oh, you know, this is going to need to be gone through again. This is just a clean up to run it without blowing old man dust all over the house. You know, just to run it for you guys, maybe run it a few times this summer, but it needs a cord. This plug at the bottom here with the green stuff, I'm not sure what that is. All the wiring is pretty crispy, so really it needs to be head wire to the switch. That's what this really needs. But let's see if it'll run for us. Here should be low, high rather. I apologize for the wind noise. Oh. Power strip is off. Hopefully, so is the fan. Okay, so let's try this again. Take 2. There she is. On high. No rattle. A little vibration. The blades still look good. Check out low. Does exactly what it's supposed to. More of a medium than a low, eh? It is spinning faster than that. The frame rate doesn't really do it justice. Let's try the other frame rate. Yeah, this is different. This is what we're more used to seeing, I think. I don't know, whatever. So, here she is on low. Try not to knock it over while I do this. Nothing worse than an infernal fan than knocking it over while it's running. And then this should be off. And here we go for your typical Lasko with the RMR motor extended spin down. This is why I don't like taking motors apart like this that run so good. You never get them quite aligned right. But there she goes. So again, really needs all the wiring. It's very, very crispy. And then at that point, you'd, oil the motor, clean it. A lot of people like to do the shellac, the windings, lacquer the windings or whatever you call it. So there's your 2-speed push button. This is really the one I remember, although Grandpa must have lost the Lasko. I don't remember it saying that. But with the round corners, no frills, the handle turned out great. And I'm very careful when I carry it by that. It'll probably break eventually. Try not to use it too much. And I'm glad the sticker cleaned up pretty nice too. She's pretty. So here she is one more time up to high. And the push button seems to be doing fine. So there it is. Thanks for watching. Lasko cleanup. Like I said, there's a lot more this needs. So we'll run it a few times this summer. And then we'll hopefully get the right work done to it. Needing the wiring. There's the spin down from your high. Right there. So there's the push button 2-speed Lasko. Pretty cool thing. And it's nice to run it without running junk all over the house. So at least now it's dusted out, cleaned out. Run it a little bit, but we got to address all that wiring. That's really what it needs. And I'm sure the other one, the square corner one, is the same. Maybe I should take a wiring course at the local community college. Learn some electronic engineering. Yeah. It's a little late for that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have one of these, what you think of it. And that's that. Thanks, guys.